So, did you hear about the two fish swimming along in the lake and they run into a cement wall? One looks at the other and goes, "Damn." Cut! That's about enough of that foolishness. Normally I have some short little bit of foolishness at the beginning as a treat for every film. Well, not today. Today, the subject matter is far too serious. Today, we mourn the death of a 1952 Ford F1. Moment of silence, please. Okay, enough of that. Let's go watch a Ford truck die. Okay, I'm seeing some orange back here in the trees. I gotta see what it is. Going through the bushes here. Oh, look at that. This, my friends, is a salmonberry. They're yummy. Well, oh, what do we have here? I'm seeing something special here. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That is a flathead Ford V8. Look at the moss on that thing. Now you can learn a lot from looking at a Ford V8 as to what year it is. Now I don't know for sure what year this engine is. Somebody might be able to tell me. However, if you look right here, you'll see these water jackets. And they're coming out of the front of the head at the front of the motor. And that means it is a post-World War II flathead V8. This is the latest model. And most likely came in a vehicle not unlike this truck it's sitting in the back of. This appears to be rebuilt, or at least overhauled at one point, because everything's painted. So somebody overhauled something. And let's see why they overhauled something. We go back here. Well, the hood's already off of this truck. Well, there's another flathead V8. Wow, ain't that special? Now, what's the story of this truck? To be quite honest with you, I don't have an answer to that, but I have a theory. Let me expound on my theory. Let's take a look here, okay? Somebody loved this truck at one time. You can see it's called a flathead because the valves all go right here in these holes. Okay, you see that? Well, obviously this engine had a problem. And so they were going to pull it out and they were going to put the one from the back of the truck in this truck. And then for some unknown reason, they just stopped. And here it sits. Because, and now another thing we got to look at to figure out the story to this truck is to see what year the truck is. Now this is obviously an F-Series truck. They started in 1948, but see that grill there? Right there, that grill? There's only 2 years that had that grill. 1951 and 1952. So, you have an old truck that had a blown engine, an F1, so it's a half ton. You can tell it's a half ton because there's only 5 lug nuts. And look at how badly rusted out it is. And everything just kind of collapsed in place here. See, it's got a flat windshield, but you couldn't even get a windshield in there now. Look at all that rust. What would cause someone to rebuild an engine to put in their truck when it was this rusty? Or was it? I have a feeling it wasn't this rusty when they started. Now, I don't know this to be true, but there's something that happened back in the early 60s quite often. if some young man would get a car or a truck, not unlike this one, who's in halfway decent shape, be in the middle of fixing it up and putting it together to make a nice ride for himself to go out sparking the babes, and then he gets drafted into the military, goes off to Vietnam, and never comes home. And there sits his project as he left it. What does this plate say on the back here? What was the last year? It was...
Whoops. 70.
Well, 76 this thing apparently was on the road, so I may be wrong.
Probably completely wrong.
But it sure makes for a cool story.
Probably found a girl he was trying to impress.
But at any rate, this truck is now a rusted out hulk. And it rains a lot and it's been sitting out in the rain. So maybe this engine's good, maybe it's not. Chances are it's still good because the carburetor's still on it. And that's kept water out of the engine for the most part. So this engine and trans looks like a 3-speed and a late model flathead V8. I bet you without a whole lot of trouble that thing would run. I don't think this truck's gonna ever run.
I'll put some primer.
Yeah, a little shot of primer here and there. Let's open the door here.
Paint job.
See?
New doors.
Look at that. There's the gearbox. The top's off the gearbox and it's full of water. That's shot. Yeah. This truck's pretty done. But they were pretty optimistic. Speedometer goes up to 90. I don't think it's going to be doing no 90
That's
now.
optimistic in some modern stuff.
Yes, I know. There's the fuel tank. Looks in pretty good shape.
And I wonder why vehicles could explode.
Yeah. So let's see what's in this toolbox here. Nothing really. There's a what do you call it? A sun visor. There's a couple of hoses, battery cable, and probably the original lug wrench. It sounded like a good story, but I kind of doubt it's true if it was licensed in 73. But then again, in 73...
76.
76? That's about the time the war was over. So who knows? I may be right after all. You never know. Look at the rust on that cab corner. I don't think that's going to be fixable.
Duct tape.
Duct tape, yes. Yeah, so get a NASCAR pit crew to put some duct tape on it. It's a shame this old truck has ended up like this, but it's inevitable when it sits out in the rain for 30 years or so.